I would never do over the phone estimates again.
We're going through some stuff.
Everybody and their mother wants to reschedule and cancel their appointment. I shouldn't say cancel. Most of them want to reschedule their appointments. So when they do that last minute, it really puts a hole in everybody's schedule. And since these guys are not paid by the hour and commission pay, we need to make sure that each day is refilled to the brim so that they're making the money they need to, and Powerhouse is making the money it needs to. So it's not probably my least favorite thing. Okay.
I can attest to that. It's quite cheeks. We're literally chicken with the head cut off right now, calling literally everybody. And then if we call the wrong person, it's like, oh, actually, we have to move back a week. And I'm like, bro, now we have to fill 2 spots. And this has happened, a few times, which blows. But I mean, that's a part of it, right?
We used to run 2 men per truck on a day-to-day basis, and they kind of ran from 9 to 5. And 2 guys does not equal double the output of work. We made the big decision to move down to 1-man teams. It was a hard transition at first. The guys weren't really sure if they can get it done, and we didn't really know how to go about it. But it took, what would you say, Aaron, about a couple weeks for them to get adjusted? Not even? Yeah. A couple weeks, and they fit right in. And I mean, if you ask them now, they'll never go back to 2-man teams. There's no point in it. They make more money. They're more efficient. They're incentivized to do more work in a shorter amount of time. And it's overall just a win-win for both the company and the technicians. So that was a crucial change that we made here at Powerhouse that significantly, I guess, helped profitability and efficiency. Yeah, exactly. So this forces A players to stick around, and anything B, C, D, all of them fizzle out after a couple weeks of hanging out here. Because if you're not producing the revenue we have on the schedule for you, you stand out pretty quick with the team that we have here. So it makes the techs have great ownership over their jobs and take more responsibility other than having 2-man crews where you can kind of have confusion with what gets done and what doesn't get done. You can put the blame on somebody else. It makes everybody a lot more accountable. You like my hula girl? My girlfriend got that for me from Hawaii.
Okay, so originally we're doing hourly pay. It was just me and Gus, and we're just running through jobs, so we would get done real quick. Sometimes I'll tell him like, yo, bro, like slow down, or we're like, we'll go get some food, take breaks, because we're just getting through jobs way too fast. But now with commission base, I feel like it's a better opportunity. You don't really have to worry too much about time when we get done or nothing like that. And we also get paid a lot more, so it's nice and it feels better to get the job done. But yeah, that's why I like commission over hourly pay.
So the reason that hourly pay is just not the greatest is because it kind of incentivizes your technicians to take longer on the job, to kind of, milk the hours for the extra pay. We just knew that wasn't right for both the technician and the company to be having that kind of relationship. So what we did is that we switched to performance pay. Now the guys are in complete control of their production and their time for these on-site visits for the actual service itself. They get paid way more with this structure, and it incentivizes them to be more efficient because the more that they can stack in their day, the more money they can make. When hourly, you can only make a certain amount per day at max. If you worked your full 8 hours, you got whatever your hourly rate was that, times the 8 hours. But now these guys are trying to get as much revenue completed within a day because it directly reflects to how much money they make for the day. The huge plus on the back end with performance pay is that you always know your labor cost. there was so many fluctuations and variables when you had hourly that varied week by week, just depending on what size jobs you had and all that. Here, when it's a set percentage of commission based on the revenue they produce, you always know what that number is going to be, so you can accurately predict future forecasts for financials and have a good set of data to do predictions and all that. So that was a huge plus for the back end as well. I think that's about it. I think I hit everything on that.
Powerhouse. What you guys doing? Yeah. What's going on up here?
Go around.
Yeah. You need a ride, buddy? Where you going? You want candy? I got candy. No? That's a funny story. So, here I am doing this lady's patio. Did I tell you, Rob, that I waterboarded myself, bruh? Had the mask, you know, the shiesty with the mask on. You know the little thing that cleans the pool? So there I am. I'm going, pulling my hoses. It got caught around that machine. Bro, and all of a sudden the machine unsnaps and starts sinking. So I go to grab it, bro. My hand slips off the edge and I kind of dip into the pool and suck up water into my mask. But I have the shiesty. So then I'm trying to breathe and I couldn't breathe. So I'm trying to rip my mask off. I was like, yo, I got everything taken care of. But I'm like, if those people are inside watching me, bro, I was like, breathing and shit. I'm like, nah, that was diabolical. I ain't never experienced that. But now I know what that, you ever seen the video of the Spider-Man at the kid's birthday? He's got the Spider-Man suit and he jumps into the pool and then he's like freaking out. It's because of that, bro, because that shit gets tight on your face. And then when you suck in, no air comes through. Yeah, bro. So there's that. Be careful around pools, children, because yeah.
So we used to do basically all quoting over the phone, unless it was like something insanely big. And basically like it was nice because we got to give people numbers super fast, but we realized we were not charging enough, which is probably why we were closing a lot over the phone. And then secondly is like we weren't building enough trust. We don't have a crazy brand yet, so we weren't building enough trust to be closing as much as we possibly can. I kind of think that if you are closing a lot over the phone, you either have a great brand or you probably could be charging a lot more if you go in person. That's just, I could be wrong, but that's kind of what we found out. So we ended up switching to in-person estimates because we went to New Jersey and hung out with the Gallo Bros. They told us, they're like, yeah, we do every estimate in person no matter what. So we were like, all right, we'll try that out, see how it goes. And as soon as we got back, we implemented that, every single estimate in person, and our close rate, no joke, was probably like 95%. It was insane. So then we were like, well, we can't be closing 95% of leads. That means we probably should be increasing prices. So we gradually continued to increase prices till we got to about like 55 to 65% close rate, something like that. And then we were in like a super sweet spot. And we realized that we were able to increase pricing by so much that it covers the cost of when we need a salesperson and we need another vehicle. So yeah, I would highly recommend doing in-person estimates. It works so much better, not only because it allows you to build a ton of trust, you can shake their hand, you can look at them in the eyes, but you can actually like look around their property and find and like learn about all their different problems. Did you hear a door open or am I tripping? Oh, yeah, you can like learn about all the reasons that they're calling you out. And sure, like you could ask questions over the phone, like what are you looking to get cleaned and what makes you want to call now? But there's something different about being at the property and looking at, let's say, a super dirty roof together or like super dirty gutters together, like side by side, and then being able to break down the pricing on a piece of paper sitting down in their living room. We figured that once you sit down and you give them prices on everything, I would like to say about 90% of our customers who call us out for one service end up buying more. Yeah, I'll talk about that. So another thing that was huge is sometimes when you're quoting over the phone, you don't know the nuances of that exact property. And when you're doing like a ton of different services, you know, using like a ton of different you're doing a ton of different services and you're using like crazy chemicals. You kind of want to know like all the nuances, if there's certain wood in places and stuff like that. So we figured out that the estimators can then take a bunch of pictures of all the little nuances that a technician should know about that property and put it on their profile.
That way when the techs get there, they're like really educated about the property, and then they can communicate those things to the homeowner, which builds some pretty crazy credibility. I would never do over the phone estimates again. So the goal is to eventually become a subscription only company. So we no longer take one-time services. I think it simplifies the business model a ton. Technicians will only be cleaning already pre-cleaned houses, which makes their job a lot easier. And it also, it sets us up for success, is the idea. We thought for the longest time that, of course, we want a subscription-based company, but we're like, no one in their right minds are gonna subscribe to like a pressure washing business. And we know that there's pool cleaning companies that have a ton of subscriptions, and pest control runs off of subscriptions. But for some reason, we were like, there's no shot that people do this with pressure cleaning. Here's the thing. I was on YouTube one day watching vlogs on other window cleaning owners, and I ran into Gatlin, who I love so much and is one of the owners at Mint. And he completely shattered that limiting belief. We were like, we're going all in on subscriptions. We need to solve this entire problem for homeowners. So we built a product now where clients pay a monthly fixed cost depending on the size of their home. And we essentially automate everything exterior cleaning so that they never have to think about it again. And they know every time they go into their driveway or every time they pull up to their house, it's gonna be perfect. I think it's gonna sell like hotcakes. So we'll see. We'll keep you guys updated on that. We're gonna dive more into how we're building this all-inclusive exterior cleaning subscription model in this channel. But that's kind of the premise of what's changing the business from going from a company that cleans a home and expects the homeowner to eventually call them out to a company that is getting paid from that homeowner on the first of every month, no matter what. Is that good? Our objective in the next 36 months is to build a $5 million ARR business, and we think it's really doable. So we're super excited, and we're kind of going to be documenting and sharing everything we learn as we do it, so that you guys can see what we do wrong and maybe a few things that we do right that will get us there. Way more wrong than anything, but still a great lesson. And then just to share kind of what we're trying to do here besides the money side of things is we're trying to create this new category of home service. It's the luxury home service category. We think that even the best home service companies right now aren't luxury. They just do things, I want to say right, which in our eyes isn't impressive. So I think there needs to be a new category that attracts the highest end of homeowners to use, where it's like a status symbol and it feels like it fits their lifestyle. So that's what we're building.
We're up right now. Somebody's got to call these leads.
Says the lead caller.
I want everybody calling. I'm not just the one that's calling. Everybody's calling today.